So friends, Donald Trump's mouthpieces, his lawyers, are trying to undermine the public's confidence in the courts, in the judge, in the prosecutors, in the jurors. Well, you know what? It won't work. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, there he goes again. Donald Trump knows he's about to lose, this time in court. So he's trying to mislead the American people. He's trying to undermine public confidence in the courts, in the judge, in the prosecutors, in the jurors. He's basically trying to peddle the same old line, the same old lie that he peddled in 2020, right? In 2020, it was the election. If I lose, it's because the election was rigged. And of course, we all know the 2020 election was not rigged. And now, in 2023, if I lose in court, if I lose in this trial, it's because the trial is rigged. And of course, we all know that the trial will not be rigged. Let's look at some of the new reporting. This from Politico. Headline, Trump says he will seek a recusal, venue change in January 6 case. And that article begins, Donald Trump will ask for the federal judge overseeing the case involving his attempt to subvert the 2020 presidential election to recuse herself, and will seek a venue change, he wrote in a post on social media Sunday. Quote, there is no way I can get a fair trial with the judge assigned to the ridiculous freedom of speech, fair elections case. Everybody knows it, and so does she, Trump wrote in all caps on Truth Social. Quote, we will be immediately asking for recusal of this judge on very powerful grounds, and likewise for venue change out of D.C. D.C. District Judge Tanya Chutkan, who was appointed by former President Barack Obama and confirmed by the Senate on a 95-0 vote, has delivered some of the harshest sentences to January 6 defendants to date. However, she has also avoided some of the most pointed criticisms of Trump that some of her colleagues on the federal bench in D.C. have delivered in sentencing defendants involved in the attack on the Capitol. Judge Chutkan was selected at random to preside over the case. You know, Trump's absurd claims that the trial will be rigged, he can't get a fair trial, prompted me to post this. We see right through this BS. I tried cases to D.C. juries for decades. Trump will get a fair trial. Trump will be convicted, and he knows it, which is exactly why he's doing this. He knew he'd lose in 2020, so he announced in advance that it would be rigged, and here he goes again. And of course, Donald Trump's lawyers, his mouthpieces, fall in line. They are now flooding the airwaves with disinformation, propaganda, nonsense, and frankly, just plain gibberish. Get this. This from NBC News. Headline, if Trump committed a technical violation of the Constitution, it's not a crime, his lawyer says. That article begins, if former President Donald Trump committed a technical violation of the Constitution, it doesn't mean he necessarily broke any criminal laws, John Lauro, Trump's criminal defense attorney, argued Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press. Lauro appeared to signal how he'd defend the former president in a trial that will stem from the 4-count criminal indictment returned last week by a federal grand jury that had been examining Trump's possible role in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot and his alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Pressed by NBC's Chuck Todd about Trump's alleged pressure campaign to get former Vice President Mike Pence to reverse the election, Lauro claimed that Trump and Pence had merely disagreed over whether a vice president could constitutionally take actions that could lead to a presidential election's being overturned. Well, you know what, friends? Constitutional law professor and scholar, Representative Jamie Raskin, had a little something to say about that. Representative Jamie Raskin, a member of the January 6th committee who was lead manager in Trump's second impeachment trial, slammed Lauro's argument as deranged and as a grievous constitutional defense in a separate interview on Sunday on Meet the Press. Quote, "First of all, a technical violation of the Constitution is a violation of the Constitution. The Constitution in 6 different places opposes insurrection," Raskin said. "Our Constitution is designed to stop people from trying to overthrow elections and trying to overthrow the government," he continued. Quote, "He, Trump, conspired to defraud the American people out of our right to an honest election by substituting the real legal process we have under federal and state law with counterfeit electors," Raskin said. "There are people in jail for several years for counterfeiting one vote if they try to vote illegally once. He, Trump, tried to steal the entire election. That is a deranged argument," Raskin said of Lauro's comments. Friends, you gotta love Donald Trump's mouthpieces. This Lauro character says that, well, Donald Trump and Mike Pence had merely disagreed about what to do. Well, that's right. Mike Pence wanted to do the constitutional thing, and Donald Trump wanted him to do the unconstitutional thing. And Lauro thinks it somehow cushions the unconstitutional blow by labeling it just a technically unconstitutional thing. You know, Representative Raskin put it best when he said, "Another term for a technical violation of the Constitution is a violation of the Constitution." Now, friends, I know I don't need to tell you this, but don't buy into the propaganda of Donald Trump. Don't buy into the propaganda of his mouthpieces, his lawyers, either. You know, stay focused on the courts, the judge, the prosecutors, the jurors, because that's where justice will be delivered. And justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.